I want to quote Roy T. Bennett's words. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. All that matters is you get up one more time than you were knocked down. Hi there, witty grade 9 students. Hope the determination is still there. This is Teacher Christine, your English teacher. Come on, join me in another challenging journey. But you need to have the following: pen, learning activity sheet, answer sheet. Let's go over the objectives.
Today's lesson is still based on the most essential learning competency, which is use conditionals in expressing arguments. Specifically, you will be guided by the following objectives. A. Identify the forms and uses of the first conditional sentences. B. Use first conditionals in expressing opinions or arguments. C. Compose pieces of advice on given situations.
Now, let's have a short review about our past lesson on zero conditionals. Take a look at this sentence. If the traffic light changes to red, motorists have to stop. Can you identify the if clause? Yes, it is. If the traffic light changes to red. What about the verb used? What is it? That's right again. It is changes. This time, identify the main clause. Correct. It is motorists have to stop. And the verb used is have. Next, tell me what tense of the verb is used in both clauses. Very good. It is the simple present tense. Thank you for actively participating. Moving on, let's get to know our main topic for today's episode. Make sure to listen and take down notes.
The second type of conditional sentence is the first conditionals. These sentences are also described as real conditions. They can also be referred as predictive conditionals. Do not worry. More explanations about why they are called as real conditionals and predictive conditionals will follow. The journey of understanding the first conditional starts with the parts. And what are these again? The if clause or the condition clause and the main clause or the result clause. Here are the patterns for these two clauses. For the if clause, we have if plus subject plus the simple present tense of the verb. Again, it is important to take note of the tense of the verb to be used. Do not forget, it's the simple present tense of the verb. For the main clause, we have subject plus the future tense of the verb. What is the tense of the verb to be used again? Exactly, it is the simple future tense. Now let's write an example. Our example will be based on this picture. To start, we copy if or we bring down if, then we think of what we're going to talk about. Since the picture is about the weather, we use weather as the subject, after which we choose an appropriate verb. We pick is. And since the picture again is about a smiling sun, we add other words, nice tomorrow. Then add a comma. Reading the if clause, we have if the weather is nice tomorrow. To complete the meaning of the if clause, let's work on the main clause. Given the condition if the weather is nice tomorrow, What will you do if I may ask you? Let's say your answer is I as the subject, will go as the verb in the future tense, and for a walk as other words. End your sentence with a punctuation mark. Again, the main or result clause is I will go for a walk. Now let's put the two clauses together. It becomes, if the weather is nice tomorrow, I will go for a walk. Let's go back to the main clause and let's take a look at the verbs or the verb used here. We can actually use shall, can, or may so that our verb in the main clause can also be I shall go for a walk. I can go for a walk. I may go for a walk. So you can choose from the modals will, shall, can, and may. Let us have more examples. If she calls, I shall tell her the truth. If he believes in himself, he may succeed. If we continue learning, we can become better individuals. Focusing on the if clause, can you identify the verbs used here? Okay, we have calls, believes, and continue. What tense of the verb do they belong to? Yes, it's the simple present tense. Let's have the main clause. Can you tell me all the verbs used here? Alright, we have shall tell, may succeed, and can become, all in the future tense. Remember the if clause position we talked about in the zero conditionals? Let me ask you this. Where can we place the if clause in the sentence again? You are right. At the beginning or at the end of the sentence. Let's read the examples. If the weather is nice tomorrow, I will go for a walk. Now where is the if clause if the weather is nice tomorrow positioned? Correct. At the beginning of the sentence. Let's have the second example. I will go for a walk if the weather is nice tomorrow. Looking at the if clause, where is it placed this time? You are right again. It is placed at the end of the sentence. So if in the zero conditionals, you can also reverse the position of the if clause, it's still the same when you write your first conditional sentences. To complete our journey in understanding first conditionals, let's answer the question, when can we use the first conditionals? First conditionals are used to talk about real conditions or real things which will happen in the future. Here is an example. If we are honest about our travels in this time of pandemic, we will not put others in danger. Or, we will not put others in danger if we are honest about our travels in this time of pandemic. The example obviously is expressing future intentions. It is telling us that this is what will happen if we do this now. Like if we take the example, if we are honest now, then we will not put others in danger in the future. Another example for this use is, if I wake up early, I will not be late. Or, I will not be late if I wake up early. This example shows future possibility. Why? Because there are times that even if one wakes up early, it's not a guarantee that one will not be late. There could be factors that will affect it. What are these, for example? It might be that you had many things to do, or much time was spent to prepare yourself, perhaps. So the tendency is you will still be late, or you might be late. So in this case, we can say that the result clause has a 50% probability of happening. The second use is first conditionals are used in giving warnings or threats. Warning is a statement about a possible problem or danger. A threat is a statement that someone will harm you or cause problems for you if you do not do what they want you to do. An example is, if you do not include your name when asking through text, I will not entertain your questions. Or, I will not entertain your questions if you do not include your name when asking through text. In here, the teacher is warning the student about the probable result if he or she does not do what he or she is told to do. What about this example? If you break a mirror, you will have 7 years of bad luck. Or, you will have 7 years of bad luck if you break a mirror. What do you think does this sentence express? Yes, it is telling about superstitious beliefs. There are many examples of superstitious beliefs, and when we want to share them, we can state them in the first conditionals. We then can say that first conditionals are used when giving superstitions. I have one last example. It is, if Tom eats something healthy, he will sleep better. Or, Tom will sleep better if he eats something healthy. How is the first conditional sentence used? Or if you're going to read the sentence, what is it trying to tell you? Correct. It is talking about predictions. Like when we go back to the condition, if Tom eats something healthy, the next thing that you're going to ask would be, so what will happen then? So your prediction is that he will sleep better. So again, the result clause here has a 50% probability of happening.
I would have to say that was one great discussion. There is one thing though you need to do. Practice by writing your own examples. Before you are going to do the tasks, put the following in mind.
The pattern for the first conditional sentence is if plus subject plus simple present tense plus subject plus simple future tense. The uses are the following. Used for realistic situations that will take place in the future. Used when giving threats or warnings. Used when giving superstitions. And lastly, used when giving predictions.
Ready for the activities? I know you are. Get then your learning activity sheet and go to pages 2 to 5. Read and follow the instructions. Good luck! Keep that smile, and I'll see you again next time, only here at TEPED MP TV.